What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I hope you all had a great weekend. I wanted to come back to you for the next video in this series that I call Let's Grow to Lunch, where I give little bite-sized nuggets about authentic dialogue to help you have thriving relationships. And I do these videos at least 3 times a week. And I've been doing it for the last 2 weeks. So if you haven't seen it, just go back and look for the hashtag, click on the hashtag Let's Grow to Lunch, and you'll see the previous videos in this series. So today I want to talk to you about the power of learning how to suspend assumptions and beliefs when engaging in tense moments or conflict or disagreements with people that you're in relationships with, whether it be personal relationships or whether it be professional relationships. The power in being able to temporarily suspend your beliefs is that it allows you to show up in a way where you can listen and be more engaged as a listener, and you silence your beliefs. So you're really like tuning in to what the other person is saying. You're really listening very intently, and you're doing what's called empathetic listening, which I covered in a previous video. So it's important to learn how to suspend your beliefs, because you show up with these beliefs, that we're pre-programmed with, and you bring that to any conversation, any discussion, any dialogue, and learning how to say, okay, I'm gonna put that to the side and really tune in and listen to understand, as opposed to listening to respond. When you listen to respond, you're not suspending your beliefs. Your beliefs are at the forefront of your mind when you're listening to someone. And as soon as they're done talking, you're responding, you're attacking or countering with your beliefs. But when you listen to understand, your beliefs are silenced. And when the person shares what they share, then you ask empathetic questions to get an even deeper understanding of what they're saying. And it's just a totally different paradigm, a totally different disposition that will improve and strengthen the relationship. The next thing is by suspending assumptions. Really, really important to learn how to suspend assumptions, because when you learn how to suspend assumptions, it allows you to show up in a way that it helps you to check your unchecked biases. And we all have implicit biases, things that, again, that have been programmed into us to believe and make assumptions about others that aren't always true. It also allows you to check some unchecked beliefs and some unchecked patterns of thought that may be inhibiting your ability to have really thriving relationships. I believe within everything in me that, everyone wants to have harmony. Everyone wants to have happiness. And if you continually confront tension in relationships with others, or there's people in your life where the relationships are always tense, it's because they have certain patterns of thought and certain, that are rooted in certain assumptions and beliefs that have gone unchecked. And in order to create a safe environment where those things can be challenged, examined in a healthy, productive, generative way, that's what dialogue does. So, by doing these things, it takes just by listening, you may be feeling like, man, you have to be really vulnerable. And the other person has to be really vulnerable. And I don't know if I want to be vulnerable with that person, that I'm in conflict with or has some tension with, if they're not willing to do the same. And you're absolutely right. That's why, once again, video number 1, for those of you who've been following, I talked about both parties having to opt in. So, if you're following these videos and these things are starting to make sense to you, it's important that you have a conversation with the other people in your life, whether they be personal relationships or professional relationships, and ask those people if they'd be willing to, learn some new things that can help improve the relationship. And that's when you introduce these concepts to them. So with that being said, learning to suspend assumptions and beliefs is something that will really, really, help your relationship grow exponentially if all parties involved are doing it. And I'm going to leave you with one example of this and how I've been able to make this shift in my life. Within the last few months or so, I remember I did a video about this a few months back, but my daughter, she would consistently complain, especially when we were riding along in the car. She would complain about her brother if he was chewing something or, smacking. He would chew and smack and make crunchy noises or smacking noises. And she would complain about that. And for for months, probably forever, I literally would get on her about, I felt like she was nitpicking at her brother. I felt like, look, he's doing the best he can. He's eating. Just ignore him. Like, why is this bothering you so much? Why is it bothering you so much? Just ignore him. You're nitpicking. You're just trying to, get on his nerves, because they have that type of, sibling relationship at times where they do little things to kind of get at each other. So for the longest, that's just, kind of what I said and how I responded to her complaining. Over time, I noticed that she continued to complain about it. And I finally made this shift to get out of my assumptions and actually listen to her and ask her some more questions about why she kept complaining about it. And, I realized that that's something that was real for her. And I actually did some research. I actually did a Google search for, can chewing noises be harmful or annoying to people or like something like that. And I learned that there's actually, a condition for it. And there's a name for that. And that's a legitimate irritant for people and a legitimate cause of stress for some people who have, whatever it's called. I forget the name of it. And I had to apologize to my daughter, and I wish that I had oriented myself to listen sooner and to stop making assumptions sooner. But once I did that and I explained what it was to my son, and he was able to make the adjustment, he was able to be more empathetic now once we finally listened and gained a deeper understanding. And unfortunately, none of us had ever heard of that condition, and we didn't know it was a thing. And unfortunately, I wish, and I'll say this, I shouldn't have had to look that up. I should have been able to lean into her and really listen and understand her, and honoring, her condition without me having to do the quote unquote research. And that's something an area I've been growing in and learning how to stop making assumptions and lean in and really listen, trusting, etc. And since then, my children and I, we've created an environment where authentic dialogue is a regular part of what we do, so that there's that level of trust and understanding and etc. within our relationship. So with that being said, I hope that makes sense. And until next time, thanks for watching. I love y'all. Peace.